Yo, no tech, no team, no talent inside. Everybody run away from Brandemir's mind. As I grab onto the mic and articulate the future. DKG coming to your life like a suitor. OT team dropping bombs like a military. Putting V-chain in the nearest cemetery. Preliminary hearings, I'm hearing my name calling. Preliminary pumping and feeling a pump coming. They say famous, A-must. When you gonna drop our next video? Got me sitting here with my fingers on the stereo. Pump the volume up and say, here we go. CM top dog, yeah, we coming for the top dog. No, we not gonna stop, dog. Better pretty up, God, cause I know that my God bless me with that all-star talent, that all-star brain. Sit back, relax and buy some Origin. Academic pimps extinct, no fear. Ambiguousness confined to a wheelchair, but what do you care, right? Like CoinDesk, where you at, bro? Are you not the journalist that represents all of crypto? But what do I know? Maybe my bank account just ain't big enough to get them to announce that the announcements they be making about these shit coins will never amount to anything for anyone. And this is my fear, that we leverage these technologies to repeat the past. A technocratic elite with the plebs at their feet, doing time for the conveniences we always seek. I'm not stupid cause I'm meek. I sit back and I ponder upon the stars. Am I going to the moon or am I going to Mars? Didn't you hear these track, these bars? Don't fear, we gon' track those parts. And around these parts, we don't speak without the evidence. Consider my ability to shine your evidence that I'm your president. And I mean that track is coming with the nukes and that's a fact.
Oh, you tryna get them gains, bro? Are you trying to get those gains? Bro, I got a 6x, a 20x. What you got? I'm the mastermind, bro. I got all the coins. Nah. Yeah. Nah, I got all the coins. Bro, what? You know, I've been thinking about this for a year. I've been thinking about the things that I did as a kid. I don't wanna go back to the misbehaving. Got a fresh ride and I miss the Raven. Since I missed the Raven, I won't miss the paving. OriginTrail, I know what the rave is. I got scanned, yeah. BSI, yeah. Department of Homeland Security, yeah. Everybody knows I bought the Bitcoin, I don't buy the shit coins. I be killing the game. I be racking my brain. My pockets going insane. I'll be making them gains. I'm talking 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about to blow. Yo, I'm the mastermind. I got the time. I got the rhymes. I got the chime. I got the mind. I'm 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about to blow. Yo, I'm the mastermind. I got the time. I got the rhyme. I got the chime. I got the mind. I don't play when they drop the beat. Everybody be who they wanna be. Everybody do what they gotta do. I just buy more track and that's my only move. Where I'm from, we don't got all the leisures, the treasures, the pleasures. We got things to make life better. I party here, I party there. Great food, but who cares? And some pretty nice weather, I guess. The paper mill's just milling away, while the politicians steal about $1 million a day. See, we need a few things from the OriginTrail. Trust that conspiracy could save us some hair. Just think for a second what they doing. They brewing up quite the concoction. They got the adoption in all the right places. They turn the right faces. They make the right statement. And my bank statement just made a statement. It said to me that it is ready to blow off. I may come off a little bit arrogant, but if you understood OriginTrail, you would get it. And we would hear you saying 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about the blow. Yo, I'm the mastermind. I got the times. I got the rhymes. I got the chimes. I got the mind. I got 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about the blow. Yo, I'm the mastermind. I got the rhyme. I got the chimes. I got the minds. I got the rhyme. We got 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about the blow. Yo, we be killing the game. You about to see. You be saying my name. You about to see. 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about to blow. Yo, I'm the mastermind. I got the time. I got the rhymes. I got the chime. I got the mind. I'm 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about to blow. Yo, I'm the mastermind. I got the time, I got the rhyme, I got the charm, I got the mind.
Don't talk about my hair, talk about my DKG. The backbone of modern web tree. So many brothers, mothers, fathers, daughters relying on me. I'm a Trini man, I come from Trinidad. I wanna be a dad, so bad. But I gotta build a foundation, so I buy some track to fund my nation.
Do you have a DKG? Do you have a DKG?
If you wanna flatter me, talk about my DKG. The backbone of modern web tree. So many governments, so many companies, they building confidence. They got their privacy, they got requirements. We got the answer, see. All we gotta say is, do you got a DKJ? Do you got a DKJ? Do you got a DKJ? Y'all ain't got no DKJ. Do you got a DKJ? Do you got a DKJ? Do you got a DKJ? Y'all ain't got no DKJ. Don't look at me, look at my DKG. The backbone of modern web tree. Going past a Billy MC. You better check back, you'll see. Can I get a T1 please? Let me get that V6 please. Let me get them NFTs. Looking at my wallet saying,
Do you have a DKJ? Do you have a DKJ?
You feeling my vibe, I'm feeling my swag. You part of my tribe, we feeling our bag. Don't start no fights, no problems. What I really wanna do is solve them. So I said buy track for your children. But is it gonna pop? I block them. Do you got a DKJ? Do you got a DKJ? Do you got a DKJ? Y'all ain't got no DKJ. Do you got a DKJ? Do you got a DKJ? Do you got a DKJ? Y'all ain't got no DKJ. OriginTrail family, we made it. We up on the coin bases of bases. We up in they faces. Shout out to the OriginTrail community. Shout out to Brandon Man, Tomas Ziga, the Three Musketeers. We out here. Let's go. Oh my gosh, yo. No tech, no team, no talent inside. Everybody run away from Brandon Man's mind. As I grab onto the mic and articulate the future. DKG coming to your life like a suitor. OT team dropping bombs like a military. Putting V-chain in the nearest cemetery. Preliminary hearings, I'm hearing my name calling. Preliminary pumping, I'm feeling a pump coming. They say famous, A-must. When you gonna drop our next video? Got me sitting here with my fingers on the stereo. Pump the volume up and say, here we go. CM top dog, yeah, we coming for the top dog. No, we not gonna stop, dog. Better pretty up, God, cause I know that my God bless me with that all-star talent, that all-star brain. Sit back, relax, and buy some Origin. Academic pimps extinct, no fear. Ambiguousness confined to a wheelchair, but what do you care, right? Like CoinDesk, where you at, bro? Are you not the journalist that represents all of crypto? But what do I know? Maybe my bank account just ain't big enough to get them to announce that the announcements they be making about these shit coins will never amount to anything for anyone. And this is my fear, that we leverage these technologies to repeat the past. A technocratic elite with the plebs at their feet, doing time for the conveniences we always seek. I'm not not stupid cause I'm meek. I sit back and I ponder upon the stars. Am I going to the moon or am I going to Mars? Didn't you hear these tracks, these bars? Don't fear, we gon' track those parts. And around these parts, we don't speak without the evidence. Consider my ability to shine your evidence that I'm your president. And I mean that track is coming with the nukes, and that's a fact.
That right there is a US FDA. That right there is a UK. That right there is a million years sitting in that chair. We out here, bang, bang. You say get with V-Chain, ha, but they ain't got no standards. My mama done raised me better to be messing with you without standards.
brothers, they all got together one night in a basement. The brothers, they all got together one night in a basement and they said, we got to find a new way. Strike like lightning from the sky, just like fire from your eyes. Strike like a lightning from the sky, just like fire from your.
They said I'd be nothing when I'm older cause I talk too much. Now I talk for a living and they talk too soft. Speak up, big connector, say it with your chest. I got so many wallets where my diamonds rest. Let me guess, you think I'm talking about that money? No, I got love, peace, security, and more. And the wallet I be talking about is you and me. Together you see we eternity. Best believe that I talk to God. I look forward to the day that I meet the Lord. And I'm telling you for sure, I'm about my father's business. Some people killing, stealing, raping, I'm healing. Healing our minds from the algorithm. They done stole did it this time. This is our time.
Music I hear.
It's Web 3, baby. You know what we building out here? You know we building on the DKGs. Let me tell you why I talk about track. I'm trying to bring back all the things that we lack. You take the knowledge graph and you merge it with Web 3 and your poverty disappears. I wanna hear from the inside out. And then one thing that we're lacking right now is wealth, which is tied to our health. The socio-economic factors really support this, shouldn't abort this. Another thing that we're missing is love. I tell you that I love you cause I mean it. Trust in the fact that I got your back, even though sometimes I might clap back. Last night I was chilling with the homies, Rainbow Six Siege and Leagues if you know me. Crisis, Brox and Brox on Earth. Sniper shots, the Dark Knight smurfing. Put your hands up, dude. We gotta find a new way to live, man. Cause what we're doing right now is not sustainable. We're too disconnected. We gotta build forward to the days when my neighbor is my brother. Forward to the days when a Muslim is a Muslim, not a bomber. Forward to the days after Obama. Forward to the days where I can live free as a brother in China, in Russia or Japan. A brother should be free to roam the land. But I understand, if my black skin offends you, most people fear what they don't understand. Cause the media done feed ya so much propaganda. I got an idea, let's proliferate love, minimize fear. You won't love if you won't see or hear. At least that's what I heard. I know you're feeling scared, but don't worry, I got you. Trini Zone Amos coming right at you with the microphone on the show like a Capone. I don't care if you're white, black, blue, green, yellow, orange, you can be purple too. As long as you love, I love. So just put your hands up, do that dance. Put your hands up if you buy track. Buy it, store it, stake it, grow it, buy it, secure it, stake it, know it. Put your hands up, do that dance. Put your hands up if you buy track. Buy it, store it, stake it, grow it, buy it, secure it, stake it, know it. Put your hands up, do that dance. Put your hands up if you buy track. Buy it, store it, stake it, grow it, buy it, store it, stake it, know it. Put your hands up, do that dance. Put your hands up if you buy track. It's not about just your mental health. I give you economic direction to betterment.
Music I hear coming across my ears is a new vibration. The music I feel coming out of my bones is giving me inspiration, and it's a gas. It's a gas.
Oh, you tryna get them gains, bro? Are you trying to get those gains? Bro, I got a 6x, a 20x. What you got? I'm the mastermind, bro. I got all the coins. Nah. Yeah. Nah, I got all the coins. Bro, what? You know, I've been thinking about this for a year. I've been thinking about the things that I did as a kid. I don't wanna go back to the misbehaving. Got a fresh ride and I miss the Raven. Since I miss the Raven, I won't miss the paving. OriginTrail, I know what the rave is. I got scanned, yeah. BSI, yeah. Department of Homeland Security, yeah. Everybody knows I bought the Bitcoin. I don't buy the shit coins. I be killing the game. I be racking my brain. My pockets going insane. I'll be making them gains. I'm talking 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about to blow. Yo, I'm the mastermind. I got the time. I got the rhymes. I got the chime. I got the mind. I'm 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about to blow. Yo, I'm the mastermind. I got the time. I got the rhyme. I got the chime. I got the mind. I don't play when they drop the beat. Everybody be who they wanna be. Everybody do what they gotta do. I just buy more track and that's my only move. Where I'm from, we don't got all the leisures, the treasures, the pleasures. We got things to make life better. A party here, a party there. Great food, but who cares? And some pretty nice weather. weather, I guess the paper mill's just milling away, while the politicians steal about $1 million a day. See, we need a few things from the OriginTrail. Trust and transparency can save us some hair. Just think for a second what they doing. They brewing up quite the concoction. They got the adoption in all the right places. They turn the right faces. They make the right statement. And my bank statement just made a statement. It said to me that it is ready to blow off. I may come off a little bit arrogant, but if you understood OriginTrail, you would get it. And we will hear you saying 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about the blow. Yo, I'm the mastermind. I got the times, I got the rhymes, I got the chimes, I got the mind. I got 6x, 20x show. Everybody know track about the blow. Yo, I'm the mastermind.
Every historical epoch, there is a most advanced practice of production. The two greatest thinkers in the history of economics, Adam Smith and Karl Marx, understood that the best way to explore the workings of the economy is to study the most advanced practice, because it is the practice that most fully reveals the powers of humanity. In their time, this most advanced practice was mechanized manufacturing, which became industrial mass production. In our time, it's the knowledge economy. What is the knowledge economy? It's not just a bunch of gadgets. It's not just high-tech industry. it exists in every part of the production system, not just as advanced manufacture, but also as intellectually dense services, and even as precision or scientific agriculture. It allows for a great decentralization of initiative, but maintains momentum and cohesion in the process of production. So it's like the difference between a special forces operation or a guerrilla war, by contrast to a standard infantry battalion.
Hey guys, welcome one, welcome all. How are my beautiful pioneers doing today? Are you guys ready? How's everybody doing today? It's beautiful to see all of you amazing folks here at the precipice of something truly magnanimous, magnamantific. What names do we have for it, guys? I'm telling you, it's a great time to be alive, especially if you know what OriginTrail is. Yep, I'm just saying hi, just making sure everyone, waiting until everyone gets in. Then we can start our little thing that we got going on today. I hope everyone is doing well. You know, as a Trini man, I say welcome to my Trini people. Welcome to my OriginTrail folks as well. Welcome to all of you. Yeah, I hope everyone's feeling good today. So today we have quite a bit to cover. It's gonna be like if I'm doing one of my videos, but live with you guys. So it's gonna be an experience even from me, you know. I'm just really excited to get this done because this is the advancement of OriginTrail. This is the evolution that we've all been waiting for. And you know what? It's just nice to have dates, times, and to know when things are gonna happen. And I think the team nailed this release. So let's just I think we have as much people as we're ever gonna get, and I don't actually give a damn if people don't pay attention to this right now, because those 10 or 11 or 12 or 14 of you guys that are here understanding what this is, you are the ones who have actually won. So don't worry about the rest of that. Just focus on edifying your skills, growing your knowledge, and together, those of you who are here, I know that you guys will be the ones to change this globe for sure. So are we ready to begin, guys? What do you guys think? All right, you know what? Let's get this show on the road. So we're gonna start off by talking about our OriginTrail parachain introduction. Of course, let me first of all, let me check the balance of the music and everything as well too. Okay, I'm hearing that my audio is a little bit too low for you guys. Let me hello. Yeah, this should be a little bit better. And let me pull this a little bit closer too, you know. Maybe this is better. How you guys feeling about that? Let me know, and then we'll begin.
All right. Great. All right. Let's begin, my people. So, first of all, it's important to understand that what you're learning about right now, this white paper release, is, I would say, as fundamental as Bitcoin's release paper. Now, you may be asking, how can I make a statement like that? Amos, you're such a fanboy. You're so crazy. You're so in love with OriginTrail. But you have to understand what this means, what the implications of the knowledge economy actually is. Now, if you were here for the introduction, you saw that video when Robert was talking about the effect of a knowledge economy. My friends, in actuality, what we are witnessing is the actual technological evolution of humanity itself. What we are witnessing is humanity is developing new ways of sharing knowledge, more than just connecting on a web interface like Twitter, Facebook, or using some sort of siloed knowledge graph technologies. No, what we're talking about here is humanity discovering a way to collectively consolidate all of our knowledge, and in true knowledge, not information, not raw data, not binary bits, ones and zeros. No, we're talking about knowledge. And using knowledge, the knowledge is the foundation of wisdom. You can't be wise if you don't have knowledge. If you don't know, you can't act the right way, do the right things you're supposed to do. You're not going to be able to build the right technology in the right way without knowledge. So the OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph, being a knowledge graph that spreads across all enterprise databases, all private databases or domains, and for new technology stacks, all open knowledge domains, and of course, as I said, private knowledge domains. What you're seeing here is literally the consolidation of all of that knowledge, and not just consolidation, but the indexing of it too. So literally it's Google, Facebook, Amazon, everything on steroids. So this is this is why I said this is so exciting. This is so revolutionary, this white paper, because yes, I say Bitcoin revolutionized payments and the ability to transact with funds and money. Who wouldn't say that's important, right? That's important. But my argument is this. This is why I think OriginTrail is way more impactful than Bitcoin itself. Now, back in the day with cavemen and whatnot, you would have trade going on. So there was always some form of facilitating trade or transacting value, right? But without the knowledge to know that this thing is of value, it's worthless. You understand? You could have 1,000,000 pounds of gold or whatever, tons of gold there, but if you don't know how to extract the gold, if you don't know how to turn it into something beautiful, the knowledge, the skills, the tangible things is what actually creates economies. So the knowledge layer of humanity itself, our brains, our ability to develop and innovate endlessly, is what make these raw materials have value. Because guess what? When we discover some new chemical, some new drug, some new technology, then what? Then we realize that this scarce material that we used to throw away or we never cared about, now it has value because we have what? Knowledge. So this is why I think OriginTrail is really something different. Now, I'm not saying that Bitcoin is not impactful. We all know it's impactful. Come on, man. We're building on the blockchain technology itself. But as it relates to the extended effect and the rippling effect throughout humanity, you guys know where my dollars are at. So let's move beyond this. Let's get this general introduction away. You know what? Right now, I'm feeling just like the OriginTrail team. People usually complain that when the OriginTrail, that's a funny joke. That's an inside community joke, because if you're in the OriginTrail community, you know that people complain that the OriginTrail team has introductions for their introductions, which is for their introductions. And I just gave you my double introduction. So let's get this going. So let's begin. So it says 5 years since the inception of the OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph. Let me pull that up big for you guys. 5 years since the inception of OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph, the concept in the first white paper. So what we're talking about here is the first ever white paper released by the OriginTrail team. Now, there's been calls for an updated white paper, and I would say justifiably so. Because this white paper really, if you look at this white paper and you looked at OriginTrail, well, you'll be thinking that OriginTrail is some supply chain project that is based on blockchain, and then you're thinking that we're competing against VeChain and all these other entities, which you are right. We're not necessarily competing against them. You'd be wrong on that point, because we can actually connect with all of them and make them more robust. But in general, if you're talking about supply chain adoption and whatnot, you would say, yeah, generally we're in the same industry. But OriginTrail is a lot more than just supply chain. So this is the entire basis behind us getting a new white paper 2.0, because as we saw in the OriginTrail liftoff event, they dropped all the knowledge economy stuff, and everybody was like, hey, what the hell? What the hell is a damn knowledge economy? You know, none of us really understood the concept of like really pulling that data into knowledge and extracting wisdom from the knowledge. So now we're having an official white paper that really lets people know, hey, we're not supply chain only, we're Web3, baby. This is the KG. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, guys? So yeah, so we're going deeper and deeper into the OriginTrail white paper here. It says OriginTrail brought a scalable, trusted, and secure way for information to be shared across a universe of data sources. By the way, for those of you tuning in for the crowd loan details, I will talk briefly on that, but I'm not going to dive into all the details, but I will talk about it because I believe that the OriginTrail team would have, obviously they're going to know a lot more than me. I'm just a regular pleb on the internet, right? Some loser guy from Trinidad and Tobago. By the way, shout out to all my Trini boys and girls in the chat today. Trinidad, I'm representing the family. I love you guys. Robin Sebastian, he's one of my students. He's an NFT artist. He's going to be one of the NFT artists for Trini Zone, and we're going to be producing some content and NFTs and dropping some of that stuff together. So you guys just got a secret release just like that. Wow. Yeah, so let's get back to this. As the OriginTrail adoption grew, you know, obviously OriginTrail scalable, trusted data sharing platform, which consolidates all of these different data sources. So we're talking about different blockchains, different ERP softwares, different, you know, if you have like NFT projects, whatever projects you're dealing with, all that information is kind of bringing all of these assets into the real. And by the way, not just blockchains or ERP software, we're talking also about like real supply chain items like a car or a phone, a fridge. We'll get to that soon. As the OriginTrail grew, the reliance on a single, often costly network, Ethereum, well, we all know the issues of Ethereum and the scalability issues that Ethereum has with gas and whatnot. So this is why we decided to take the approach of being blockchain agnostic as well. Well, this is not the only reason why, because you do want to offer flexibility to your anyone that's consuming your network. But of course, Ethereum definitely was a pain point, so we needed to expand beyond Ethereum and get some faster transactions, cheaper transactions through. So this is why we adopted the multi-chain strategy. By the way, for you guys who are in OriginTrail already, you'll find that I'm talking about these things because we have newer people that will be coming into the OriginTrail community as a result of our parachain. So it's actually pretty vital to talk about. All right, so yep, and we know that Brandon Mayer loves, well, actually the entire team loves this loves the Star Trek theme. In fact, our first chain was supposed to be Starfleet chain, but now it's called the OriginTrail parachain, which I think is a more, it's, some people are complaining about that, saying that they think it should be a cooler name, but I actually like it because when people in the Polkadot ecosystem say OriginTrail parachain, they're going to say, what's OriginTrail? And then they're going to look at OriginTrail and see TRAC. So it kind of brings all, even though it's two separate networks, it kind of brings all of it together. So I definitely think the team went with the best choice for this. So this is basically the introduction we're setting up to move into what we are today. Today we will be able to digest, well, after V6, we're moving into the industry, the area of digesting Web3 grade assets and network and facilitating network effects. So this is really important to read. Let's get this done right here. The third generation of the internet, popularly referred to as Web3, offers an exciting opportunity to expand the way users interact with assets. Both assets, those anchored in the real world. So this is what I was saying earlier. Cars, building, rare items such as expensive bottles of whiskey. Now, all of these things, when the team talks about shit, it's usually some shit that is actually real. For example, we know that we're working with Monasterevin, that company with BSI, who is, with Bono. You guys know YouTube, Bono, that famous guy. So we know that we're already working to produce these things. So basically, they're telling us here what they're doing. And if you paid attention, just now we just read cars. But we didn't hear anything about cars. So I'm wondering if the team has something to do with cars. Let's go. So educational and vocational credentials. This is we know a prime example of this from BSI. We're doing the training certificates and all of that. And those digitally native NFTs will be moving into the NFTs as we saw the whole supercharger example. So we also know that this is real. Again, everything they talk about here, we actually have working products for. So this is another thing that really makes me interested with people in crypto. Like when we read this white paper, nothing we're reading here is like, oh yeah, we're thinking about it or we're pontificating. No. This shit is real. It's running already. We have it running. So like, yeah. So, well, I mean, after V6, we'll have it super running, if you know what I mean. But yeah. So, and those digitally native NFT representing digital arts, gaming avatars, and fungible tokens. Now, this is a big space that I will also be getting into alongside as in with OriginTrail. Poised to change the way we manage, protect, and increase value for our wealth. Things we own are now converging towards becoming Web3 grade assets. Let me repeat that because this is going to be so fundamental to the future of everything. Like everybody in crypto needs to understand that, well, this particular sentence here. Things we own are now converging towards becoming Web3 grade assets. Do you understand? That's not crypto items alone. That's not things just produced in crypto. All right, because those things are already Web3 grade assets. So what we're talking about here is things that are not Web3 grade assets by default, which is things standard produced by your, supply chains, your everyday supply chains. These things themselves are becoming Web3 assets. How do we know that? Well, we know that because of GS1 Digital Link. Can I pull that up right now? GS1 Digital Link, OriginTrail. Right? We know that these digital link items, these barcodes that are going to be shown on every product moving into the future, we know that these barcodes enables the possibility for digital twins. This is exactly what we're talking about here. These items, cars, stoves, shoes, frogs. I don't care. If it has a digital link barcode, it's gonna have a digital twin version of it on the metaverse. And OriginTrail, as you can see here, is going to be a gateway for trillions of these items because of our decentralized knowledge graph and our support for the supply chain GS1 standards. So this is amazing. So this is why we are saying assets made discoverable and verifiable and valuable using the technology comprising both a semantic layer, the knowledge graph, and a trust layer blockchain. So what OriginTrail is basically saying is they're combining the ability for a knowledge graph. The knowledge graph is what allows for all of these amazing things, these assets. The DKG, the decentralized knowledge graph, is what allows for all of these assets to be embedded into Web3. right? And then you anchor the assets in a trust layer, which is a blockchain. So it's knowledge graphs merged with blockchain to create this new semantic layer that is cryptographically secure. So this is what it's saying here. By leveraging both the groundbreaking technology, OriginTrail is thus becoming a core component of Web3 infrastructure, also ensuring user asset sovereignty, as data representing assets can only be managed by asset owners. If we did look into the OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph itself, if we take a look at the OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph in this video I did here, in there, select a new state. Like when I'm editing these assets,
so let's
right?
find a new file, and
The only way I can manipulate these assets is if I have ownership over it. So even though the decentralized knowledge graph is pulling all these assets into the DKG and assigning UALs, which by the way, Brandon May, if you're watching, I realized I was saying universal asset locator, but it's uniform asset locator. I don't even know why, but well, I do know why. It's URL. So yeah, so let's start moving on to some of the more juicy stuff. Now that the basic stuff is out of the way, let's talk about network effects generated by the multi-chain OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph and the OriginTrail parachain. Now the OriginTrail parachain is an L1, and the purpose of this entire white paper is really to dive into how the parachain interacts with the DKG and how TRAC interacts with the new token OTP. So now we're going to start talking about some of these use cases, which we already see developing by Akala, Centrifuge, Affinity, Moonbeam, and Robonomics. So, and all of these are Polkadot projects. So as a result of us launching our parachain, what you're seeing is that by default, we're going to have interoperability and connectivity with all of these independent projects here. So those of you asking for when crypto partnerships, when more crypto, involvement, well, this is pretty nice and quick way to get all of that into one package in one go. So this is why network effects on Polkadot is a big deal. Now, of course, we know that OriginTrail is being used by Walmart, Costco, Home Depot, some big names, the biggest names. My name is one of the biggest names. Let me check the comments real quick, because you guys, I see some comments rolling in. I bet the BSI is the BSI certified building components. I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked. When supercharging cars, I don't know, but they have it in there. So you're saying we'll be tattooing frogs with a digital barcode? No, we won't. All right, yeah. So let's move along. So yeah, future growth will be possible at an even higher pace as the next version of the OriginTrail DKG delivers up to 500 times in network scalability. We saw this already, because let's take a quick look at the OriginTrail V6 testnet. My testnet node. Is this the right contract? Or is this a different contract? All right, well, if you can, I haven't spammed in like 2 days, but when I was running my node, when I was spamming like maybe 50 to 100 jobs in a minute, in 10 minutes. So when we're talking about that increased scalability, we're talking about the ability to literally give that throughput to a blockchain network, to the DKG, and have it be consumed by the decentralized knowledge graph and the network. So this is a big deal, because what we're going to be able to do is operate at production level in speeds, so that these entities can, update their NFTs, update their URLs, update whatever as they are going through their production. Which is funny, because Actually, as we talk later on about more of the effects, I'll show you how this interacts with one of the videos I actually released here, which is funny because in this very same video, I talked about how a manufacturer might be able to like update a car. So we'll dive deeper into that. So by moving into the OriginTrail parachain direction and by leveraging network effects with the multi-chain perspective, we will be facilitating network effects in 3 core areas. So it's basically network effects among our business partners like BSI, OriginTrail, and Home Depot, Oracle, WF, Polkadot, and then there is number 2, which is basically open community assets like NFTs and whatnot. All of those different sorts of NFT network effects being increased because everybody's like connecting all these different assets, supercharging their assets, and doing all these crazy different new ideas and doing all these crazy different new things. So this is the power of like leveraging having NFTs, open community members being able to leverage the DKG and not just like enterprises or anyone else. We're going to have way more network effects. And now we're going to move on to point number 3, leveraging the Origin Parachain to enable cross-network interoperability. Now, this is exactly what we were talking about up here when we were talking about, by default, we gain access to all of these different Polkadot projects because they're all going to be sharing the Polkadot space. And this, let's read this right here. Advancements brought by the DKG specific OriginTrail parachain will drive use cases allowing for real-world items like luxury cars, like cars, luxury items, houses, art, and other things, and commodities we own to be turned into Web3 native assets. Are we understanding? Are we understanding the impact of this? Like, OriginTrail is building the real metaverse, like the metaverse of metaverses, not no sub metaverse. No, how about like today, right? For example, let's check this out. Let's take a deeper look at this, guys. So I've been bagging these things called Hero cards, right? And let me just show you some of the ones I've got here, right? So these Hero cards, they're like these NFTs, these digital NFTs. But the thing about it is, at the back of them, right, there's like a QR code and you could scan it. So these NFTs, these items become like the digital twins become one of your digital assets that you own in a wallet, right? But I still own the physical part and I own the digital NFTs of these officially licensed DC cards, right? So people are going crazy, just going crazy over things like this because you're able to like bring these assets and whatnot and have these physical but digital twins. This is the embodiment of a digital twin. The twin is the fact that I have this card physically, and the twin of it would be the digital version, which I also own in my digital wallet. So people would be dope for this kind of shit, right? Great. Well, OriginTrail is doing that, but for real world shit and everything, like land, houses, cars, boats, real metaverse shit. It's like omniverse, and not only can it facilitate that level of onboarding, right? It can connect to other metaverses. So let's say we have sandbox NFTs and then we have another metaverse NFTs and they want to interoperate or something, or they want to do something. Well, they can facilitate that on the OriginTrail. So it's a metaverse of metaverses in itself, being a metaverse whereby actual data is the matter of that metaverse. So OriginTrail is like a God protocol in Web3, as I call it. But that's let me leave that for another time before you go, oh my gosh, he loves OriginTrail so much. Oh my god. Just relax. The value is there. All right. So let's get back to this here. So when we see the power of what this innovation actually is, when we take a deeper look at the power of this innovation, so what can we do with that? So check this. This way you will be able to have your real world assets like art, cars, stock portfolios, savings, or a house become an asset that you can use as collateral in DeFi to provide you with more liquidity when needed. So guys, this is a freaking bombshell. I wish I had my goddamn bomb video. That's what I should have done. For my next live stream, I'm gonna have a little thing where I could drop bombs on the stream. Let's do that. How about that? But all right, so enough brag. Listen, why this is so goddamn cool, right? It's not just the fact that we can do it, right? Yes, we can do it. Yes, other entities can also try to do it themselves. Yes, but what you guys need to understand is we can do all of it at once in one domain. You understand? So you're not going to a million different places to find different protocols that can facilitate this level of innovation. You can build these tools on OriginTrail, all of them, every kind, and they all can be semantically charged. So this is such a giga powerful innovation. I don't know what the hell people are reading. I don't know why we're not in the top 10, like literally. It's exactly where we should be. So let's keep the ball rolling, my babies. Let's keep this going. All right, so notably Web3 assets can be created even before they take their final shape. This is where I was talking about. We'll get into my other video because guys, read this. Notably, Web3 assets, Web3 ready assets can be created even before they take their final shape in the real world. So this is like, for example, interesting. They even have the car here. So like, for example, let's say there's a car and I am Bosch or whatever car manufacturer. Boom, somebody initiates a purchase for this car. I can then issue that person UAL, right? Which is a blank NFT. Like imagine. All right, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. I can give this person let's say this is Lou. I can give Lou a UAL, right? And I can tell him, yo, this is your UAL. And this is us drawing your car, making your car. Don't mind my little wheels here. This is not a good car. All right, whatever, guys. But so what I'm saying is, as this car gets updated, so they add the wheels. Okay, we can update the UAL. The wheels have been added. They add the window. Okay, we update the UAL. The window has been added. They add the door. Okay, we update the UAL. The door has been added. Meanwhile, Lou is seeing his unique NFT of his car develop over time. This is some crazy ass shit. like I mean, and what's funny is, yes, it's crazy, but we have the enterprise backing to make this a reality. So don't hit me with none of that garbage like, oh, this is speculative. Kiss my ass. This is totally amazing and totally possible with OriginTrail. So I have seen some, yeah, so what we're talking about, this power would then do what? This allows for entities to leverage this level of marketing. This is a total game changer for enterprises. They get to build communities and foster something very similar to like Web3 communities in Web 2. So it's like they're getting to, so for example, let's look at Twitter, the Knowledge Graph conference, right? let's just take a quick side. This is a live stream, so I don't have to worry about time unless you guys have shit to do. You can get on with your life. I'm good with just talking to 5 people. All right, I started my channel with like 10 people, right? I don't give a damn. But let's check this out. The Knowledge Graph Conference, they are tweeting about On2Text, which, by the way, On2Text is our official partner. They're one of the largest. You know what? Let's pull up damn On2Text, because you guys think it's a game out here or something. You know what I'm saying? OriginTrail out here building for real. Come on, dog. Like, come on. Why are we not top 10? Come on. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. So these guys literally are one of the largest. They produce GraphDB, which, by the way, we pounded GraphDB so hard we actually kind of broke it. So that's amazing. They're partnered with Fujitsu BBC. Not me. Yeah, so they're partnered with all these entities. They're massive and they're an official partner. How much likes did they get from the Knowledge Graph Conference when they posted? 2. How much did these people get? 7. How much did these people get? 4. Star Dogs. Freaking Star Dogs. Do you guys know who Star Dogs is? Okay, maybe you don't know. Let's see who Star Dogs is. Let's see the adoption Star Dogs has. Oh, you mean eBay? You mean NASA, Bosch, Cisco, all of them, like everyone, right? They post about Star Dogs. How much interaction does Star Dogs get? 2. Let's see what happened with OriginTrail. Accenture. Accenture is massive. I mean, come on, right? Accenture is massive. 1 like. When did they post about OriginTrail? What happens? Where's OriginTrail? Where's OriginTrail? 175 likes, 84 retweets, 9 comments. Of course, I did my fair share of commenting. But the point here is to show that this is OriginTrail as a Web3 company. This is the power of developing Web3 communities. This is what happens when you have a Web3 community. So these Web2 enterprises are seeing this and they're like, oh shit, that seems pretty smart. So they're gonna want to build these Web3 communities and embed it into their Web2 processes as much as they possibly can and be as open as they possibly can. And there's only one platform that allows for them to do that. And I wonder who it is. Yeah. Right, so making pre-built assets Web3 native will allow manufacturers manufacturers and brands to create new financing and business models for their operations and bring their communities much closer to the process. We were just saying that. Blah, blah, blah. Right here. Moreover, it enables owners to start their ownership experience even before they get their hands on a physical product. So this is what we're talking about here with Lou. Lou bought the car, right? But he hasn't even gotten the car, but he has a NFT or a UAL that he's seeing his damn car evolve before his eyes, seeing the door get added, seeing all of these different things. And who knows, like they can even enter like some sort of decentralized voting process via DKG, OriginTrail Parity, you know, something, I don't know, or something. They build some process, some interface, right? And it allows for people to vote on like what color placements for different parts and shit like that. Maybe have that whole thing automated even, and people just, you know, there's so much different ideas for engaging communities that can be leveraged that comes from this innovation. So I spend a lot of time on that because this is really important to understand. This is a really big innovation, you know. So let's keep the ball rolling. So we're gonna, some of these things we're gonna get a little bit through faster, but we're gonna talk about the OriginTrail technology stack here. So the OriginTrail, actually, let me check the comments real quick. Let me check the comments to see what's going on. Yeah, we have some funny stuff here. We have Tesla would love this. We need Elon to see this. Yeah, Elon, if Elon saw this, he would probably hop on something like this quickly because he's very innovative. And most, as you can see from his cars, he's always trying to do some innovative stuff. So again, not even Elon, I think every Web 2 giant could see the impact of fostering Web 3 communities. We saw the impact of Web 3 communities with like GME stocks and all of these things. We saw what happened. So they are aware and they want to know how to tap into this Web 3 power, and OriginTrail is going to give them the power to do that. So the technology stack is designed, of course, as it says, to bring real world assets into Web3, enabling discoverability, verifiability, and connectivity. Blah, 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 blah. We talked about blockchains as the trust network and knowledge graphs as the semantic data networks. This is important to understand because this is a technology concept that actually is not widely respected or at least understood in crypto itself. Blockchains are trust networks designed to enable trusted computation through decentralized consensus, behaving like a global trusted computer processor. So it's like a processor, not necessarily a database. Those two things are different, all right? So knowledge graphs, on the other hand, are semantic data networks. All right, and we can see that knowledge graphs are powered by Google, Amazon, blah, 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 blah. So this is how your tech applications are gonna look. You're gonna be building Web3 applications on top of the OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph, which is then going to be on top of all of these different blockchains. But of course, you will be able to pick the Polkadot parachain as one of those primary blockchains. All right, so we're moving on. So you see how we're burning through this already. We're moving pretty fast now. So the upper layer of the OriginTrail stack presents the OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph. We know that. And then we have the OriginTrail decentralized network. This is our network nodes. And right here, we see we have all the different blockchains that these network nodes are connected to, which obviously the OriginTrail parachain will now be another one. So let's get into the I guess one of the most important aspects of this parachain pairing, which, my friends, would be what happens to the utility of TRAC, what happens to the utility of OTP. There is more on this later on, but right here, we just get a brief little introduction as to what is going to be happening. And it says anyone can contribute to the OriginTrail DKG and use its services via what did you guys see there? Let me make sure that I can see that you guys are seeing that says TRAC. Let me make sure that you guys can see that. Let me see. I can see Lou. Is that you? I see you, Lou. Is that Helmut? Wolfside, Ziga, are you there? Yeah, I see you guys. That says TRAC, not OTP. There is no utility from the DKG taken away, at least in the traditional sense that we know of today. It still operates as we know it. So all of the FUD about lack of utility and blah, 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 yeah, take that and you know where to put it. So let's keep on reading, my friends, and this is where I have to issue a formal apology to Branimir, because in my video on inside the decentralized knowledge graph, for some reason I realized I think I said universal resource locator, but it's a I said universal asset locator, right? But it's actually uniform asset locators. Okay, so my bad, Brandon, man. You know, sometimes it's a mistake, man. You know, every video I made is high. Come on, bro, cut me some slack. All right, so all right, the unique video of the OriginTrail DKG and DKG assets supported by the novel DKG Web3 primitives, universal asset identifier, and universal asset locators. Now, of course, this is how the DKG itself bags and tags these different assets. This is how you're able to uniquely identify them. I did go over these assets in this video inside the decentralized knowledge graph, so feel free to check it out. I'm not going to repeat it here. Then we have, so they have some stuff to dive into here that I think is actually pretty important, and these are asset publishers. So let's really get let's really look at this here. Asset publishers. Asset publishers, again, let me make sure you guys see that, right? Asset publishers use TRAC to compensate the DKG node runners for ensuring data persistence of their published asset graphs. As assets get indexed to different keywords on the network, search queries for particular keyword results in multiple assets being presented in the search results in a particular order of relevance. This is exactly what I showed you guys, right? Complete state, the entire history of an asset. Which kind do we get? Well, bag to do it. You're going to search, my friend. It's actually, yeah, this is it right under here. That keyword. It's not returning the singular asset anymore. It's returning every asset on the network under that keyword. This is decentralized search, my friend. It's actually here. It's actually working. This is quite similar to you going to Google and typing OriginTrail, GitHub, and it pulling back all the results that it knows that you can do with those particular keywords. Of course, Google does leverage AI for their algorithms to, and so I was right. This is literally what this is. The decentralized search, when you query by that keyword, it's pulling back that entire list, right? So the way for you to really make your asset show up higher in that ranking is if you have more TRAC staked on that asset. This is the concept of asset staking, this asset discoverability staking. It increases discoverability of your asset by staking more TRAC. So again, watch this video. It explained all the additional utility. So the reason why I'm going over this is to make sure that you guys understand that TRAC is what is being utilized still for all of the knowledge economy and utility. All of the utility is still in TRAC. There's nothing taken away from TRAC. And asset consumers, people who are leveraging the DKG to consume assets, to consume NFTs, they are also using TRAC. All right. So let's move on. And I think I think there was one of them I wanted to skip by. OriginTrail is a multi-chain system with the ability to integrate assets. Okay, right. We need to read this one sentence here. OriginTrail Parachain also introduces a native OriginTrail Parachain OriginTrail Parachain token, OTP, a utility asset that is not only used for blockchain gas fees and inclusive governance, but also enables a way to incentivize the growth of DKG usage. Now, this is where we start talking about how is OTP actually just facilitating TRAC? Because people think that just because we have two tokens that OTP is gonna dominate and TRAC is gonna be left behind. But if you understand how the tokenomics work, you will see that that is not at all the case. OTP enhances the usage of TRAC, but OTP itself will not be useless because of the demand. So let's just dive. It's actually pretty beautiful how they got this tokens, this ecosystem, this token structure to play together. So, right. So we do know that as a result of launching an OriginTrail Parachain, right, we're going to have a Polkadot literal and actual blockchain network that has its own nodes, that has its own validators, or what we call collators. So the OriginTrail OTP Parachain, the OriginTrail Parachain token, is what's going to be used to incentivize these collators and make sure you're paying for transaction fees and all of that stuff on the OriginTrail Parachain. So TRAC is DKG, OriginTrail Parachain token is Parachain token. So they're two separate networks. They're disconnected. They're not the same. They're not just doing one thing. They're not just they're not necessarily glued together, but they're not totally like disconnected to the sense that OriginTrail Parachain is just randomly over there and TRAC is just randomly over here. let's dive into how they actually play together. So as we can see here, we have the collators for the OriginTrail parachain, and then we have the OriginTrail parachain, and then we have validators, and these communicate with the Polkadot relay chain. So these guys are getting rewarded and funded in OriginTrail parachain tokens. All right, so now let's go on to the OriginTrail tokenomics. Now, as it says, as described in previous chapters, the OriginTrail DKG and OriginTrail parachain are distinct technical components in Web3 infrastructure, each running on a separate network and each having their own token system. All right, so we know, and this is where we really get clear. This is where we really get clear on what's taking place with TRAC and what's taking place with OTP. And as we say here, both TRAC and OTP exist as utility tokens, right? But TRAC, right? Let's read this part here. The TRAC is used for DKG operation and incentivizing protocol behavior. It is needed to perform the operations such as publishing to the network and is a utility token that drives the entire DKG. So TRAC, as it is, as we know TRAC today, TRAC is getting that power, still maintaining its usage, all its utility is still there, and even more utility being added, because now you're going to be able to stake TRAC, not just stake TRAC on assets, you're going to stake TRAC on nodes, on your own nodes, of course. By locking more TRAC on your nodes, you're going to increase certain, reward mechanisms. But you can also delegate your TRAC to other nodes, and you could stake TRAC on keywords so that your assets rise in value. And then of course, TRAC as a fungible token means you could still use it on any blockchain network that it's, can be transferred to as an existing ERC20 token native. So TRAC is still TRAC, and more powerfully so. OTP, however, let's read. OTP is designed to directly support the growth of the OriginTrail ecosystem. That's its purpose. So the real bread in understanding OTP will obviously be understanding how does it actually achieve this goal. In addition to the basic utility, OTP is used to incentivize growth of the adoption of OriginTrail DKG. So the OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph, OTP is being used as some sort of, hey, the more you use the DKG, you get OTP. Okay, so let's read here. It says it's incentive to collators, basically these node runners and whatever that we know about, and delegating, so you can basically stake OTP in a traditional sense of staking in like blockchain nodes and whatnot. We use OTP for voting, and it exists as a fungible token, so it can also be traded just like TRAC, so it has value. So this is why the airdrop, the OriginTrail airdrop, is pretty cool, because you're getting a token that has value. It's not like, for example, if we went back to the OriginTrail Starfleet, if we go back to OriginTrail Starfleet, you will remember that you were getting a token called TRAC, but it was more of a imagine, it didn't have value. Like, you couldn't take it off of the TRAC network and use it for buying stuff or whatever. No, you would have to convert that back into TRAC via the bridge to then utilize that as a standalone ERC20, right? So when we think about how different this model is as it relates from SFC and the OTP, well, I argue, well, not me, I guess, okay. I argue as a community member, I argue that the OTP is significantly better, despite the fact that all of the value before, or well, not necessarily all of the value, but all of the value before would have been locked in TRAC, because you have to go from TRAC to TRAC. So that means TRAC would still be the one that has all the value as it relates to, getting TRAC, because you have to get TRAC first. Now, that would still be if you want to utilize a DKG or utilize anything like, the incentives that the DKG offers. So when we talk about OTP now, OTP actually has value. So you can do what with that? you can incentivize actions with that value. So you can say, hey, you use something and you get something back else of value. Meanwhile, means you still actually have to get TRAC to use the thing that is to be used. So it's actually the exact same as SFC, but now the S-TRAC is not something that doesn't have value. Now it's something that has value and actually will even make people want to use it even more than just having S-TRAC, because now you're actually getting something of value. So the tokenomics fundamentally still operates the same, but this one is actually supercharging that, because now you can pay people to do shit. So it's way better. Now, also, the additional added benefit of this, when you think deeper, would be we don't have to run the damn blockchain network, plebs. We don't have to worry about security. That's I will tell you, if Polkadot gets hacked, at least the entire Polkadot network is hacked. You know what I'm saying? At least we can say that. If we were running the isolated, siloed OriginTrail parachain, that's a lot of maintenance, bro. That's a lot of scrutiny, bro. And that's a lot of working with whatever partners or whatever we would. I remember people talking about, we were thinking that we would like possibly get community members to run nodes and maybe enterprises. Imagine if we had enterprises running nodes and these community members running nodes, and we ourselves have to go and make sure all of this shit is actually running. And if something bad does happen, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying the team couldn't do it, because they're definitely smart enough to do it and they definitely have the resources and the connections to do it. But damn, no, that's a lot. So I actually really prefer this. I think the tokenomics, they did a fantastic job getting these two tokens to play together such that the DKG and TRAC stands to benefit the most. They did a fabutastic job, I will say. So I offer that respect and kudos to the team. And I will also offer respect on the upgraded communication. How this was portrayed, I would say is just better than what we've been getting before. You know, no disrespect to the work we've done before, but we've definitely come a long way. We've come a long way, team. You guys are doing way better. So yeah, this is really good. I love the tokenomics. So let's proceed. By the way, if anyone has any other issue, if anyone has something I didn't think about, or maybe I didn't understand clearly, feel free to drop a comment. But I think these tokenomics are airtight. I genuinely believe it. I am saying that openly. I genuinely believe this tokenomic is airtight, and we'll dive into even more so why. Because once you understand what this part means here, once you understand what this part in particular means, how does it actually do that, then you'll see, okay, yeah, shit, well, yeah, they did a good job. So let's keep it moving so we can get to that point, right? So, however, so it says ecosystem tokenomics boosting network effects. It says, however, there's an important segment of the OTP parachain tokenomics, DKG incentives, that ties the two systems together to boost network effects for each respective networks. All right. So they're saying that obviously these DKG incentives is what will push things to the other level. So other than the increased scalability, we also have literal economic incentive for people to use TRAC, to buy TRAC to use the DKG. Because the more TRAC you buy means the more. Let's watch it here. Let's go through it here. So it says, yeah, so TRAC. Which part did I want to talk about here? All right, so let's read this here. Moreover, DKG users deemed a crucial stakeholder in the OriginTrail parachain, and therefore the tokenomics of TRAC and OTP, while separate, share an incentive structure on the OriginTrail parachain. One of the three main incentivization pools, next to collator incentives and future auction pool, is created specifically for DKG incentives. Let me repeat that. All right. If I can find it. Damn, where was I reading from? This is it, right? No, it's right here. Right. Okay, one of three main incentivization pools, next to collator incentives and future auction pool, is created specifically for OriginTrail DKG incentives. So we have pools within the OriginTrail parachain, which is being created via this OTP, which will be used to incentivize the use of the DKG. Hello, I see somebody named Ingob said hello. Hello, hi. Yeah, so using these pools, here it is, using this pool, OTP tokens are distributed among users of DKG for positive activities of growing and strengthening the OriginTrail DKG. The core incentivized activities are, so if we go back, so right here, if you provide node collateral by locking up TRAC, you get paid OTP. So if you're running a node and then you come to lock up some TRAC, you get OTP for that. If you're a node runner, so you get OTP for using the network, what you're doing already. Okay. If you stake keywords using TRAC, so if you use TRAC for staking, you're rewarded in OTP. You get it? You get it, guys? If you publish or update assets, you get rewarded in OTP. Publish and updating assets. It's a TRAC utility. So the only way to really get the full benefit of OTP is to be using. Let me hear it. 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 That's right. You gotta be using TRAC. So it's a positive feedback loop. This is enhancing. So it's like use a DKG, use a DKG, use a DKG, and everyone that's already doing what we're doing today, you guys are just racking up rewards because you're already leveraging the DKG. You're already using it. You're being rewarded for doing the things you're already doing. It's beautiful, baby. TRAC. It's beautiful. All right. So this is a prime example of that. So we can see that all of the traditional primitives, they're all leveraging the OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph to complete those actions. But the only thing that is using OTP is the OriginTrail parachain, which is used for the transaction fees and collators and to reward people. So how does this pool become established is the next question. Okay? So we know that all the utility, all the value is not, in fact, it's not only that the utility is still on TRAC. TRAC's utility has been catalyzed by OTP. Okay, so we can end that fun, right? So we see in all of that. So how are these pools established? That's really the only question. That's the really only thing left to know. And I'll be glad to let you know that they do have information on that. But first, let's talk a little bit more about how OTP is also incentivizing the network effects itself. Because let's think about it logically, okay? If OTP is forcing people to buy more TRAC, to perform these actions, to gain more OTP, and we know that these actions themselves is what fosters network effects. Therefore, there within lies the fact that yes, OTP is facilitating network effects at an organizational level because it's because it's, of course, making you want to use TRAC more, making you want to use the token more, making you want to connect with other ecosystems and whatnot. It's facilitating network effects. And because OTP makes you want to buy more TRAC, to post more data, to link more data, to stake more TRAC, to use more keywords, it's also facilitating network effects at the data level. And because OTP is at the center of Polkadot's ecosystem, and it also has a tokenomic value rather than being some arbitrary S-TRAC that has no value, that can't really be used to incentivize anything. It can't incentivize shit. Now you're going to be using OTP on Polkadot, which has token value, which will be seeing value, because as we start to scale, as we start to put billions and millions and billions and trillions. Oh, Amos, how could you say trillions of assets, Amos? You're a fanboy. You're a nerd. You're a loser. You're a hype man. Okay, the OriginTrail team them damn self said trillions of assets. Okay? So can I just repeat what the team is saying, man? Can a brother get some slack? God damn. You know what I'm saying, bro? So as we proceed to put millions and billions and trillions of assets on the DKG, right? All of these things will be transactions on the OriginTrail para chain, which will be seen as what? Activity, network activity, which one can assume will be seen as a productive ecosystem, which can lead to what? Appreciation in what? The price of what? OTP. And if OTP appreciates in price and attracts more people because of that transaction throughput, people would then say, why in the hell is OTP seeing these transactions? What is making OTP rise in value as a result of these transactions? What even are these transactions? Oh, you mean you need to have TRAC to get even more OTP? And if you use TRAC, you get even more OTP. You don't even lose the value of your TRAC. You know what I'm saying? Because your TRAC stays locked. You get OTP. You can use that. So, in the end, my friend, what we are seeing here is a multiplicative effect on the network effects of the DKG TRAC, not just the DKG, but the actual token value itself. This is, it's like Bob Metcalf did this tokenomics. You know what I'm saying? Well done. Well done. So let's go through some of the questions. I see a wall of questions here. He says, I have a question about marketplaces that I have to divide in some parts because YouTube doesn't allow comments. All right. Under TRAC as a fungible token, it says one such example are data marketplace smart contracts, which allow TRAC to be used as a compensation token for selling and purchasing assets. If I interpret this right, it means that TRAC can be used as a currency on marketplaces. The use of the word allow seems to imply that they can accept other tokens, for example, AUSD2. Using TRAC as a publishing fee is already great, but using it as a marketplace currency would vastly increase its value in capture utility. Will there be any incentives for these marketplaces and participants to prefer to use TRAC over other currencies as a means of payment? Well, here's a prime example. If let's say you're using TRAC, the more you use TRAC, the more OTP you get. So now you're seeing that question is a prime example of why people would want to use TRAC, because now they're getting paid in this thing called OTP just for using it. So the incentive structure is that the more you use TRAC, the more OTP you get. The more OTP you get, the more you can, vote and have stake in the ecosystem, and you can stake more OTP on nodes to get more OTP back. So it's like you can keep just recycling all this shit, right? You can just keep recycling it. It's a positive network effect. Now, as it relates for TRAC being used in the marketplace as the primary utility token, TRAC is the utility of the DKG. And if you're swapping data on the DKG, you're using TRAC. TRAC is what's the heart of all of that. TRAC is the knowledge economy. Now, I would quicker say the stretch would be other tokens, but I don't necessarily think that that's much of a stretch, because of course we know that soon you'll be able to collateralize assets via the DKG, which you will then be able to spawn like some AUSD and shit for your assets by collateralizing those assets. So maybe there is a time in the future where we may be able to use different tokens on these marketplaces, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking about TRAC, and TRAC is going to be the go-to standard for all uses of the DKG, because everybody is going to want to double and triple dip in that damn OTP rewards. People are going to be wanting to get TRAC, to get OTP, to get more OTP and put those OTP to stake, or they just want to sell OTP instead of selling TRAC. So even if you think about it, it actually can relieve even selling pressure off of TRAC from people just selling the rewards on OTP instead of just selling TRAC. So TRAC value can even be further catalyzed if you view it that way. But that one is more like open, like that can and cannot happen. That's neither here nor there. What we really care about is how things actually work. And based on how things actually work, we at the very least know that this is a total positive feedback loop tokenomically. And as Lou said, we generally don't have enough information on the data marketplaces, but we know enough to know that TRAC is being utilized for all of these initiatives. So there's no speculation there. So yeah, so this is how OTP is enhancing organization network effects, data level network effects, and cross-chain blockchain network effects. Okay, guys? OTP is this was well done. This was well done. All right, so now we get into the portion of the video that I usually do not like getting into, because if you watch the content on my video on my channel, I almost never talk token stuff. I almost never talk Genesis block and how much tokens allocated and all that stuff. I usually don't like getting into that stuff, because to me it usually means people want like, oh yeah, well, if it has a 1 million supply, it's gonna be $1 million by the end of the year. Like, it's usually that kind of stuff. So on my channel, I just stay the hell away from all of that shit, because to me that's worthless. I'm a builder. For people who look at me as just a regular YouTuber, yes, I am a regular YouTuber, but my primary function is to learn and build, code, develop, music, art. I am all of that first before anything else. So this is why you see me sticking with one project. I know OriginTrail is gonna blow up, and I know my YouTube. You guys think I don't think my YouTube channel is gonna blow up? I know my YouTube channel will become massive, but I am investing the time into the people at OriginTrail. I invest in people. I invest in communities. I invest in you guys. So I know my time will come, but I am a builder. So I don't care if people call me hype man or what. Kiss my ass. I don't give a shit. Kiss my ass. I am about building. So this, sorry, I had to get off on a rant there because it just really frustrates me. Where it's so frustrating. I don't care. I build. So I will hype what I think is real. And OriginTrail is doing the realest shit. So kiss my ass if you think it's fake. Kiss my ass. Don't care. Let's go on to what I usually don't talk about, which is my Genesis distribution portion. And as you can see, I don't even think I have anything highlighted here, because I just usually don't like talking about tokenomics stuff. I really don't. But for the sake of today's discussion, let's get into all of that. Actually, let me... Okay, somebody said turn on the background music. Not a problem. Hold on. That should be a lot better. All right. So now the OTP. All right. So let's dive into this. OTP Genesis distribution. The total supply of OTP that will ever be created is limited at 1 billion tokens. So we're starting off with our 1 billion supply. That is twice the current total supply of TRAC itself. All right. However, out of the maximum amount of tokens, only half will be allocated. So we have We have 1 billion tokens and only 500. Oh shit. That's a fail already, guys. That's a comma right there. 0. 0. Ah, shit. All right, forget it, guys. I tried something. It was cool for a second. All right, we have 500,000 tokens. 500 million OTP tokens that will be generated because 50% of the 1 billion is 500 million. So only producing 500 million OTP tokens, by which will be split into these various different categories. All right, so let's get our highlighter out here. So we know that our 500 million is going to be split. So if we start by taking a look at the distribution of the initially half OTP supply, it gets divided just like this. So 45% of the 500 million goes to kickstarting the incentivization pools. Remember, we just talked about the OTP pools, the ones being used to incentivize DKG usage and all the other things. So 50% of that 500 million that will be initially generated upon the Genesis block will be dedicated to incentivizing the generation of these different pools. Now, which pools there will be, there's a section on that later on. We will be getting into that. So 25% of that said 500 million will be allocated to the auction distribution. 25% of 500 million is how much? Like 125 million or something like that, right? Yeah. Am I right? Am I right or wrong, guys? Right? Can someone tell me? Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, my math is garbage. So 25% for the treasury as well. What is the treasury? What is the initial auction? What are the incentivization pools? Let's dive into that right now. Oh, and by the way, for you beautiful guys, for you, Lou. Yes, you. The shit you've been asking for so long, huh? All of you OriginTrail plebs, look at you now, huh? Bag it, you guys just eating off the OriginTrail team, getting your damn OriginTrail airdrops. Look at you. Look at you, Lou. Look at you, Helmut. All right, so, and another great thing is that OTP had no pre-sales, right? So OTP is not tied to any VCs, any former investors. We can do 100% what we want with the value of this token and distribute that to the network itself to just keep the network feeding upon that positive feedback loop of innovation, that positive feedback loop of building. So all the funds and that value kept in one place. That's what we were able to do. So that 500 million, yeah, so the initial auction, 25% went to the initial auction. Wait, I was right. Yeah, right. 25%, 125 million. Yo, I'm smart. Oh, yeah, guys. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So the OriginTrail Party is secured only by winning that Polkadot spot. So basically, we're securing 125 million OTP tokens towards the parachain crowd loan. So this is where I guess we can start talking about the crowd loan stuff, right? So let's go. Of course, when you're talking about here, you have to have, when you're talking about joining the parachain and getting your bonus, you have to have a Polkadot wallet. I'm glad this was just wallet before. So now this Polkadot. So as we saw before, the rewards are if you stake 20 OTP, if you stake 1 dot, you get 20 OTP. If you stake 25, this is how much OTP you'll be getting. If you stake that much dot, this is how much OTP you'll be getting. All right, and of course there's a maximum of 125 million OTP. So the first few people, if this gets locked up, you better make sure you get in before it gets locked up, pretty much. All right, so we have this much stake, and we know that if you contribute more than 25,000 dot, you get a 15% bonus. All right. Now, one thing that was not clear to me is if you have to do all of these things to get the bonus, or you do one and get the bonus. So that is a question we can be sure to ask for the OriginTrail the office hours coming up on the 12th. And if you have if you sign up for this portion down here and you use the same wallet that you're going to use for the Polkadot auctions, well, you get a 5% bonus, early bird bonus. And if you use a referral code, well, you get another 5%. So that's literally all there is to the OriginTrail Parachain crowd loan. It's really not that complicated. So yeah, let's get back to this. And this is really where we start talking about the OTP token symbiosis or connectivity, because here are the different incentivization pools. So, and we've dedicated 25 million TRAC OTP, towards this. And here it is, DKG incentives pool. So this is the incentives pool we were just talking about, my friends. This is why the DKG and TRAC and OTP is like best friends, because what happens here is a driver of the parachain adoption by the OriginTrail community of users and important kickstart of the network effects on both DKG and OriginTrail parachain. It is intended to support positive activity on the DKG network, such as asset publishing, updating, staking, and delegating TRAC to nodes, asset TRAC keywords for visibility, using TRAC data marketplaces. And hey, so to answer, what was your name? Bob Lazar? Right here. They said straight up, it's just TRAC data marketplaces. So as far as we know, it's just going to be TRAC being used for all of our data marketplaces. Maybe someday you can use other tokens, I do not know. But at the very least, we do know all of that value, all of the marketplace value, all of the staking, all of the asset keywords, everything is locked in TRAC. TRAC is the token. All right. So, and then we have these other pools, the collator pools. So this is for like the node runners on Parachain. And then we have the future auction pool, so that if we ever do lose a node, if we ever do want to bid again, yes, it's freaking insane bullish, because you're now going to be rewarded for using, you're going to be paid in OTP just for using the TRAC marketplaces. So people are going to want to be using that shit to farm OTP. And instead of even selling the TRAC, because TRAC is what's generating the OTP, you wouldn't want to sell what's generating what you can then use to generate OTP. So it takes the sell pressure off of TRAC even and moves that over to OTP. But even OTP will be seeing what I believe exponential value increase because of how much assets, the millions and millions and millions of assets that'll be hitting that particular blockchain. And because OriginTrail, I have something else to show you guys. How many of you guys are left in the chat? 20 of you are left on the stream. Okay, you guys are gonna see something special, because the OriginTrail team did something in this white paper that they actually have never done before. And I found it, and my position on it was 50-50, right? And I was 50-50 on this for two reasons. I was both happy and sad, happy and upset, you know? It left me bittersweet. So we'll talk about that soon. So whoever's around, stick around to understand why you should be insanely bullish and also be a little bit upset. But not really upset, is just not actually upset is not the term. It's more like but I mean, I guess you see the natural progression of things, and I'm pretty open. So stick around for that. I'll show you guys that it's actually super bullish actually. But for me, as someone that firmly believes in how do you say it? Not the incentive structure, the pillars of the ecosystem, the inclusiveness, neutrality, and all of that. As someone who firmly believes that in those pillars that secure the OriginTrail ecosystem, what they did here was a little bit interesting to me. So anyway, community treasury pool. So this is, as it says, a pool of OTP tokens that intend to support a diverse range of community actions that receive enough OTP to support a voting mechanism. So we see that these are the different pools that will be established when OTP is created to reward the community. So this is why OTP plus DKG is a good fit. So I think we've pretty much covered all we want to talk about as it relates to OTP and how they play well together. And we've pretty much gotten to the end of the OriginTrail white paper here. Wait. Well, this is the community distribution. Oh yeah, right. Well, this is important as well. Yeah, right. This is important as well. Hold on, 1 second. Let me just take a quick little break, guys. My throat is killing me. How you guys doing? This part is pretty important. We're going to be talking about the distribution for token holders and node runners. This is something that everybody wants to know about, all the airdrop information. How is that going to work? I have a few ideas. And of course, some of these things, you know, you have to like run through in working groups and whatnot. So I have no idea the final form or anything, but all I can do is make suggestions. So, all right, let's get back into this. So, TRAC token holders. At the first two groups will be allocated 20,000 OTP, allowing 1 OTP to be claimed for every 25,000 TRAC. So let's put this into perspective. If I have 25,000 TRAC and I divide that by 25, I will be getting 1,000 OTP. Now, 25,000 TRAC, 25,000 times 0.7. What is TRAC? What's the price of TRAC right now? Let me guess. You bastards probably dumped it, right? Oh shit. All right. We holding, boys. All right. So 25 times 7, 70 cents, right? So 25,000 TRAC would be about $17,000, right? And you get 1,000 OTP. Meanwhile, if I stake 20 dot, wait, it's how much per stake? So 1 dot equals 20 OTP. Oh, math on stream is insane. Right? Hold on, I just took a hit and I'm a little bit high. Let me run this math real quick. So, all right. Holy shit. We have 20 OTP per 1 stake dot. So we have 1,000 OTP. And to get 1,000 OTP, you'd have to stake 50 dot. Right. There's the math. Oh my God. I don't know. That was insane, guys. Doing math on stream is the craziest thing, which is funny because I watched this game called League of Legends, and they say when they're on stream and they try to do math, it's the worst thing ever. And I just experienced it. I couldn't do shit. Anyway, so let's say 50 dot. $120 dot. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. So 50 dot, right? So 50 times 20, 50 dot will give you 1,000 OTP, and 50 dot is only like $975. So we could see that in this particular reward, dot holders are being heavily rewarded, way more heavily rewarded. Of course, also by the size of the pool. There's only 25 million OTP being sent out to TRAC holders and 125 million. So basically 4 times more the value will be sent to DOT holders. So I saw some comments somewhere about like people saying OriginTrail DOT community members and OriginTrail community DOT members are being rewarded less heavily than TRAC community members, but that's not true. TRAC members are being, DOT community members are being rewarded pretty heavily. So yeah, looking good on that front. So we can see that if you want to get more OTP, you can even try to go the DOT route by staking more DOT from the initial lock, or you can just try to hoard as much TRAC as you can so that you can get more OTP over time. So there's different strategies you can employ here for harvesting OTP. You can, again, buy a metric shit ton of TRAC right now so you can get a lot from the initial drop, or you can buy DOT and buy a lot of DOT and stake a lot of DOT in the crowd loan to get a lot of OTP initially, which of course you can try to get more TRAC with, but of course if you have TRAC you generate more OTP over time. So I would say earning TRAC is probably the main incentive. Yeah, so I think you guys can go ahead and read these. It's actually not that complicated. There's a vesting schedule for each of these different pools, and since the token is inflationary and not all of the 1 billion supply will be released, so the 500 million will be released, and then there's a 500 million that will be locked. That will be released inflationary over time at this 5% rate every year. So every year you can see that the 500 million, the first year, we're going to give 5% of that, release 5% of that, and distribute that into the pools, into these pools. And then the second year, we're going to do 5% of what's left. So we're always going to keep doing 5% of what's left into perpetuity or whatever that, however they say that. So we're going to keep distributing these. This is the inflation mechanism. This is basically the inflation tokenomics behind all of this entire incentive scheme. So yeah, so this is all, guys. I am pretty much excited to say we have completed the walkthrough of the OriginTrail white paper. If you stayed this long, you trust me. As I said, I started my YouTube channel with 10 people, 5 people, to have how many people here? 20 people watching my stream. At the end of it, after being live for how long? 2-hour stream. 20 people still here. I want to say I deeply appreciate all of you. I have value that I will be bringing to all of you soon, and you heard a little bit about that in the intro. So here's the one thing I wanted to show you guys that stayed around till the end. That was 50-50 for me. It's giga bullish, it's mega bullish, but it also was a little bit it was a little bit interesting how it was stated. All right, so I just need to find that. Let me all right, let me just search by OriginTrail parachain. Sorry guys, I just have to go find it real quick. I'm trying to give you guys some alpha. So you know what? I think I'm just gonna have to tell you guys. It's in here in writing, but I'm just gonna have to paraphrase. I guess it's a bit much to try. It's a bit much to try to find it on stream, but it's in here. So the gist of it was, they were talking about how OriginTrail. They were talking about how OriginTrail is launching their parachain, and their parachain will be leveraged for basically, and as they said, it will be the focus of their upcoming adoption. That's what was stated, right? It was stated in the paper. It says that they are launching a parachain, and this parachain will be used as, oh, I remember. It says the preferred. If I can spell preferred, is that how you spell preferred? Right. That's the word they use. Maybe it was just prefer. This is exactly the word they use. I know that. Damn, I can't find it. Maybe it's on the homepage. All right. Well, either way, in here they say that the OriginTrail parachain will be used as the preferred blockchain for the upcoming adoption, which that's really the bomb. Really, it's a bomb. But I understand why it was said, because of course the OriginTrail team is, these dot holders need to come in and look at the OTP, and they need to understand that this thing is not just some random, even though we are blockchain agnostic, it's not like if we're not going to be using our dot chain, you know. So obviously that needed to be said, but it was kind of the first time we saw the OriginTrail team showed any kind of preference to any kind of blockchain. Usually the stance was where every chain is equal, but this was the first time we saw them like really just say straight up, this is the preferred chain for our adoption, and this is what we're going to be running everything, well, not everything, but at least the core fundamental parts of our adoption will be running through this kind of network. So again, it wasn't anything crazy stupid. I know I probably maybe made it seem like a bigger deal than it was on the negative side, but the positive side of this is giga freaking bullish, because when we then know what that means is gerbs upon gerbs, you know, like adoption, and we at the very least know that this is commencing here at this date, at this time. So that was my bittersweet moment. It was very sweet because I at least have the deadlines for all that we're gonna do, but now we do see some preference, and well, let me go back and let me also, to be fair, the OriginTrail DKG parachain will be having unique capabilities like graph contracts and all these very unique, it's a tailor-made custom blockchain for the DKG, bro. So obviously it has like way more utilities than any other blockchain will ever have literally. And this blockchain is being developed by the core team that built the DKG, which is open for everyone. So it obviously is gonna be the preferred thing, the preferred stack. But as an open community member, I can obviously go and use any blockchain I want. What if I don't want to use Parachain? I could use Ethereum. I like Ethereum. I could use Ethereum. I could use XDAI, whatever. I could still use that. So the DKG is still open. It still, operates as usual. But of course, the OriginTrail team made a product, and they're obviously going to have to say, hey, well, the Parachain has all of these core functionalities. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So you can't hate a player for playing the game, and you can't get mad for the adoption. But again, they do have mad adoption. And when you do think about it, Trace Labs, that adoption alongside Trace Labs, it's their shit. Like OriginTrail, we as a community, we have our own shit. Like, we can decide we want to build on Ethereum, and we build our Ethereum dApps, and we put like millions upon millions of transaction throughput on Ethereum. But Trace Labs is not the open community. They're a business, they're an entity, and they're building a tool. And if Trace Labs wants to, and they're pushing their adoption through where they think it's best for their adoption. And it's not like if Polkadot is centralized, it's open source, it's open and decentralized, just like Ethereum. So they're putting through their adoption on that chain, and that makes sense to their enterprise, and you can't fight that. So you can just, at least you have a timeline and everything. When shit is gonna happen, guys. So speaking about timelines, let's just talk really briefly and close this stream off about timelines and what that looks like. When are we gonna be integrating the DKG? When are we gonna be making that money? When are we gonna be pelting them jobs out? What exactly do we need before we start getting shit rolling? And the one good thing about this I like is the fact that we have dates. We have dates, we have months, we know when all this shit is going down. So let's take a look at this real quick. You guys see OriginTrail Parachain. We're on the OriginTrail Parachain website, and when we scroll down here, we see this graph right here. Now let's go through this graph. So it says stage 1 begins on June 4th. And in stage 1, what we will be able to do is what? Transactions. You understand? So we're going to be able to put transactions onto the blockchain. The Genesis, you could be able to move your OTP, issue the rewards to people and whatnot, but there isn't going to be any sort of functionality as it relates to DKG OTP functionality until the DKG is integrated with EVM. So I see somebody commenting when pool. The pools are spawned upon Genesis. So, and as the vesting periods said here, as it says in the vesting periods, the pools are spawned upon Genesis, but not all of them. So there some of them are released over so 25% spawn at Genesis block, and some release over time for the first lease period and whatnot. So these pools will be spawned as soon as the Parachain is launched and transactions are enabled. Some people will get access to their rewards and whatnot, as you're seeing here. Actually it says it right here. I was speculating, but it's literally right here. Yeah, but it just was common sense. Anyway, so yeah, this is here. And it seems like, yeah, we'll be able to do gas fees. And okay, you bad boys will be able to stake from June 4th. Not bad. All right. So then comes stage 2 in July 2022. Then we get EVM support. Then we get DKG integration. Woo! My bad. That was probably the most random shit for you guys. To like literally see me just randomly start eating like a piece of bread. Oh shit. All right, yeah. Oh, my bad. Yeah. So on July 22nd, right? That's when we begin the integration with the DKG and the Ethereum virtual machine. So then we're gonna be able to see, I believe, publishings and whatnot. Yep, we're still gonna be able to do that. But wait. I think it says right here, these are the pools. So the pools are spawned in actually on July. So the pools are spawned, well, not all of them, but actually yes, all of them. Yeah, the collator pool, future auction pool, and DKG incentives pools. So for using the DKG and all staking and all that stuff, obviously that can't come first without the DKG being integrated. So the DKG integrates early July, and then this comes later in July. So all of this is July. Right. So if we're doing all of this in July, token inflation starts in kicks off in July as well. That means V6. This is speculation, guys. But V6 has to be almost ready. Because I don't see you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't be launching all of this without V6 being ready. Woo! Alright, so in July 2022, we're looking at collator incentives, all that pools being launched, but we should be able to spam the network by the time the DKG is integrated. So I believe we'll be seeing V6 before July. So in July, pretty much the party begins. Well, the extra party, the after party begins. But even before then, we'll still be having our transactions. We'll still be staking OTP, getting our rewards, getting the airdrop, V6 coming on, V6 stages, increases. Bro, this is looking amazing. So this is the timeline. I am here. I think I am just going to call the stream closed off. So did you guys enjoy that stream? Was it a good stream for you guys? How do you guys feel? Just gonna hang around in the chat for like maybe 10-20 minutes, and then not even 20 minutes, maybe like 5 minutes even. I'm supposed to be watching a League of Legends match right now. But yeah, I'm just gonna sit around for questions, anything you guys have, and then we'll close it off. Right, there it is. There it is, Darren. Yeah, Darren says, as a purposely designed blockchain DKG, the OriginTrail parachain is created to be the most, it's created to be the most attractive option in the blockchain layer for the users of the DKG. So that's what I was saying exactly. It was the first time they showed any sort of preference towards a parachain or any blockchain. But at the same point in time, you can see why they did that, because you obviously want the dot holders to want to participate in the OriginTrail parachain auctions. But with all the enhanced tokenomics and OTP and how they actually work synergistically, it actually is the most attractive option. You know, they're actually not bullshitting you. Like, it really is. Like, for example, if I would obviously want to get as much OTP for, like, if I'm using TRAC for staking and all that, I'm just going to want to harvest OTP. It's just going to be, it's the most attractive. It just is what it is. So I see why they said it, which is why I said it's really not that big of a deal. It's the first time they did that, but I also saw why they did that. And that also confirmed by extension that they plan to drop them jobs. Yes, any and all other questions will be answered on the 12th. I will be live streaming with the team themselves. So get those questions through after watching this stream. Get all of those questions through. Let me know what you guys want me to ask the team. Let's discuss. Let's grow. Yeah. All right, I'll be closing off in 2 minutes. Thank you guys. Thank you for asking such great questions. Blobzar, William, Luku, Darren, Helmut. Thank all of you guys for coming. Everyone that's watched the show. I really appreciate you guys. Let's change the world together. We're doing some pretty big things, my friends. That was a 2-hour stream. All right. I'm going to send it over to outro. You guys can enjoy the outro content. It's same thing as the intro. And then we will close the stream off. Peace and love. I love you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. And you guys know what to do. Stay beautiful. Right? Right? Stay beautiful, right? All right. Yeah. No, seriously, stay beautiful.
Historical epic, there is a most advanced practice of production. The two greatest thinkers in the history of economics, Adam Smith and Karl Marx, understood that the best way to explore the workings of the economy is to study the most advanced practice, because it is the practice that most fully reveals the powers of humanity. In their time, this most advanced practice was mechanized manufacturing, which became industrial mass production. In our time, it's the knowledge economy. What is the knowledge economy? It's not just a bunch of gadgets. It's not just high-tech industry. It exists in every part of the production system, not just as advanced manufacture, but also as intellectually dense services, and even as precision or scientific agriculture. It allows for a great decentralization of initiative, but maintains momentum and cohesion in the process of production. So it's like the difference between a special forces operation or a guerrilla war by contrast to a standard infantry battalion.